So it's been a week since I was declared a dangerous person and kicked off Facebook. Boo-hoo. But think about how totalitarian this is. Mark Zuckerberg is literally telling 2.4 billion people, a third of the Earth's population, what opinions they can and can't hold. They've actually instituted a new policy on Facebook where talking about me, unless you're denouncing me, is verboten. There've even been reports that photos of myself and other banned thought criminals, even when the faces are blurred, are being removed. Just like old Uncle Joe had his enemies airbrushed out of history. Hey, at least during the 2 minutes of hate in 1984, the citizens of Oceania could at least see Goldstein's face. Zuckerberg is literally copying Stalinist Russia. Think that sounds like hyperbole? No. This is Samizdat for the 21st century. Samizdat was a form of dissident activity to avoid Soviet censorship. Dissidents reproduced censored material at great risk to themselves because, much like Facebook controls the majority of online discourse, copy machines, printing presses and typewriters were all controlled by the KGB. The KGB enjoyed a monopoly, so they were able to monitor and manipulate public discourse, just like Facebook's monopoly allows it to monitor and manipulate public discourse. So eventually, dissidents had to produce handmade carbon copies of information, much like we're having to create our own social media networks simply to reach any kind of audience. When individuals were caught reading or transporting banned Samizdat materials, they were hit with harsh punishment. Some were sent to gulags, just as I've been dispatched to the digital gulag. As may you be if you share my banned Samizdat material on Facebook. And just like yours truly, to prevent other citizens from embracing their ideas, Samizdat dissidents were put on show trials and declared dangerous persons. And listen, I'm not putting myself in the same context as historical dissidents who suffered torture and incarceration, but I am putting Comrade Zuckerberg in the same context as authoritarian, narcissistic despots who created power monopolies to crush dissent. And just like the fictional thought police in Orwell's 1984, we've handed organised outrage mobs the power to remove people from society. There's no future for dissident voices on social media. Everything edgy, daring or mischievous will be cleansed. We're going to have to go back to old school methods like mailing lists and websites. Bookmark summit.news right now and sign up for the free newsletter there. You can also follow me on Telegram, link in description. Oh, the irony of a platform owned by Russians being one of the last sanctuaries for freedom of speech.
But Facebook's a private company, it can do what it likes.
Oh wow, leftists suddenly did a 180 and started believing there should be no regulation of big corporations right at around the same time that big corporations started silencing their political opposition. What a coincidence! Because giving a billionaire oligarch monopolist the power to decide who has free speech and what opinions you can express
is progressive.
If you value my message, if you don't want to see it silenced, I need your support. I've created a Subscribestar which is linked in the description below. Unlike Patreon, Subscribestar is run by people who actually support free speech, so it's never going to be deplatformed. And those of you who support me via YouTube may want to consider switching over to Subscribestar, given what's happening to channels like Sargon's, which just got completely demonetized. So again, if you think my message is important, if you want to vote with your dollar against deplatforming, hit the Subscribestar link in the box below. Because unlike Vice, I'm not getting a fat $250 million check from George Soros. And this isn't gonna stop at social media. Left-wing activist mobs are now pressuring banks and credit card companies to cut off access to people because of their political opinions. It's already happening. Numerous people have already lost banking services because of the thoughts inside their head. The communist Chinese-style social credit score is right around the corner. A cashless society where your grocery purchases get declined because some soy boy in Silicon Valley got offended by your tweets. If that's a dystopia you want to avoid, those of us fighting to stop it need your backup more than ever before.